Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating and honestly pretty urgent mystery that's playing out globally right now. We're literally looking for a missing community. Specifically, where on earth has the entire global community of researchers, educators, and scientists vanished to online? So think about this. For years, we had this vibrant, centralized digital water cooler. It was a single global space where, say, an early career researcher in Tokyo could casually debate a preprint, a research paper shared before official peer review, with a tenured professor over in Toronto. It was this amazing informal commons that fueled serendipity and real-time scholarly debate. But today, that clarity is totally gone. The academic digital landscape has just completely fractured, leaving this massive vacuum in research collaboration. So what actually happened? To really understand the gravity of this, we have to look at what scholars are experiencing right now, a situation researchers are calling the double bind. Imagine you're an exhausted PhD student. You're constantly told that to build your career, to get those crucial grants, you absolutely must maintain a high visibility online profile. But the effort it takes to curate your presence across half a dozen fragmented, incredibly noisy, and frankly, sometimes toxic platforms, it's physically and mentally draining. The pressure to be seen is literally higher than ever, but the spaces to do that safely have all but disappeared. Which brings us to part one, the fall of the commons. Now, this number right here tells a huge part of the story. In a 2025 survey, nearly half, 49%, of academics indicated that legacy platforms, specifically X, have just become way too hostile for meaningful scholarly exchange. What used to be academic Twitter, which was this highly trusted route for calls for papers and cross-disciplinary networking, well, it's seen a massive exodus, mostly driven by rising toxicity and just overwhelming algorithmic noise. So a lot of the folks who left ended up migrating over to LinkedIn, making it the third most used platform for researchers. And you can see the shift in the data. Native documents, things like research frameworks or academic posters, actually saw a nearly 15% jump in engagement year over year. But here's the catch. LinkedIn is increasingly morphing into what you might call a digital mall. It's heavily prioritizing short-form video feeds and even in-app games, like Sudoku. And for a community that relies on high-fidelity, peer-reviewed knowledge exchange, well, solving a puzzle on a leaderboard isn't exactly a substitute for the rigorous academic debate they've lost. That leads us into part two, the Great Academic Pullback. Listen to this powerful quote from a surveyed researcher. I think it perfectly humanizes the data we just looked at. I used to promote my own publications and learn about those of colleagues. Since Musk took over, the network is broken. A replacement has yet to be found. Scholars are actively grieving the loss of their primary networking space. They're still online, sure, but they are engaged in a massive pullback. Basically, they maintain a static digital presence strictly for career visibility, but they've largely just stopped actively contributing, debating, and sharing. Let's look at part three, the commercial platform trap. Now, you might be thinking, wait a second, aren't there platforms built specifically for academics? Well, yes, but there's a catch, and it's a big one. We're looking at a stark contrast between two very different models here. On one side, we have commercial academic social networks like ResearchGate and academia.edu. They're super popular, sure, but they're for-profit entities. They've been heavily criticized for using proprietary algorithms and creating vendor lock-in. On the flip side, we have institutional repositories like Imperial College's Spiral. These are nonprofit, permanent, and they are inherently compliant with complex open access mandates, which, if you're not familiar, are the rules requiring publicly funded research to be totally free for everyone to read. And here is the real speed bump for those commercial platforms. A recent study found that 51.3%, literally over half, of the non-open access articles shared on ResearchGate are actually infringing publisher copyrights. No way, right? This kind of dark sharing puts researchers in a highly precarious legal position, and it's led to millions of takedown notices. It completely undermines the stability you absolutely need for a reliable academic network. Moving on to part four, seeking the third place. Okay, so if legacy social media is too noisy and commercial networks are legally risky, where are scholars actually going? Well, despite all the fatigue, the persistent optimism of scholars really shines through. As this researcher noted, they still desperately want, and frankly need, the serendipity that online networks provide. They're chasing that magical moment of discovering a peer halfway across the globe who is trying to solve the exact same niche problem they are. Enter Discord. Believe it or not, a platform originally built for gamers is increasingly being adopted in biology labs and computer science courses as a virtual third place. The absolutely crucial point here is that Discord is space-based, not network-based. So instead of shouting into a viral algorithmic feed, users gather in dedicated, persistent topic channels. It's super organic and incredibly low pressure. Students use playful GIF reactions, like dropping a meme saying "I'm in danger" right after a brutally tough exam, to bond and just lower the tension in the room. Plus, you can have contextual profiles. You can be a total academic weapon in one server and completely casual in another. It offers serendipitous connection without the high-stakes, stressful curation of a LinkedIn resume. Another major contender we're seeing is Mastodon. Mastodon is a decentralized, open-source platform. It operates on independent instances. Think of them as privately run, interconnected neighborhood servers, rather than one giant corporate database. Because of this, it's completely impervious to private takeover, which obviously aligns perfectly with the ethical framework of open science. We've seen places like the University of Groningen Library fully embrace it. But it does suffer from a bit of an adoption paradox. The onboarding process is pretty complex, which deters widespread use, and a lot of academics just won't join until they see their peers are already there. All right, Part 5, Blueprinting the Ideal Network. So if we were to build a platform from scratch that truly serves the entire life cycle of research, it needs 3 foundational pillars to actually work. First up, ironclad identity. Second, frictionless collaboration. And third, verifiable recognition. Let's break these down real quick. Step 1 is identity, and in the academic world, that means ORCID. Unlike a simple email-based profile you'd use on a commercial app, ORCID is a persistent digital identifier. By integrating authenticated ORCID profiles directly into a new network, we totally eliminate manual data entry errors. But more importantly, it creates this chain of validated, trusted assertions. You know exactly who you're talking to, and their entire academic history is instantly verified. It's a real game changer. Step 2 is collaboration, and this is powered by standards like NISO MECA, that stands for the Manuscript Exchange Common Approach. Just imagine a platform where you don't just upload a flat, dumb PDF. Instead, the system actually understands the format. Adopting the MECA standard would allow researchers to move smoothly from an informal chat on a platform straight into a formal manuscript submission to a publisher or a preprint server. Fully compliant, flawlessly formatted, zero friction. Finally, Part 6, the future of scholarly connection. You know, we can actually look to the medical field for proof that a fully realized, community-owned infrastructure isn't just a fantasy, it's entirely possible. Compare the digital mall model of current social media to the verified professional model of physician networks like Doximity or Sermo. Doximity is used by over 80% of US physicians. Why? Because it offers triple verified identity and seamless workflow integration, like HIPAA-secure messaging, all inside a space that prioritizes safe peer discussion way above influencer noise. An academic equivalent would integrate grant tracking, preprint sharing, and peer review honoraria, effectively turning a chaotic digital mall into a secure, researcher-led sanctuary. And honestly, this isn't just a pipe dream. We are already seeing incredible solutions emerge, like the new Ronteca Connect web-based platform and application. This is a massive initiative created by the Rontech Media Ed Division as a project by Dr.RRPh.D, and it's designed to be exactly this kind of verified, purpose-built sanctuary for the educational and research community. Which leaves us with this final, absolutely vital question. In an era where commercial platforms can just wake up and change their algorithms, paywall their features, or simply shut down entirely, who truly owns your digital scholarly legacy? The fragmentation with the academic commons, it's not just a tech glitch, it's a crossroads moment. It is this incredible opportunity for the global research community to finally stop renting space in noisy digital malls and build the verified, open, and resilient infrastructure they actually deserve. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you all next time.